Call your sponsor.
Call you sponsor.
Call you sponsor.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your.
Welcome back to Bitch Call Your Sponsor. I'm Sam.
I'm Misty.
Hello, Misty.
Hello, Sam.
Shall we do our primary purpose?
Let's.
Our primary purpose is for Misty and Sam
to grow
their friendship
and
maybe help others. So the topic I am bringing to us today is help. Help in many different iterations of it. And I had a sponsor that used to say that they never really ran to the light of enlightenment. They usually ran from the flames of disaster. And pain, we read about in 10 is that pain is a touchstone to all spiritual progress. Like for me, I am the type of person where I will, the wheels have fallen off and I'm just coasting and, creating sparks all over the place. And, it's not that bad. And, as I stick around, it's really, I remember hearing it doesn't get different. We just go deeper. And I am now finding myself exploring other campuses, 12-step campuses, as it were. And what's coming up is the justification. It's not that bad. We got this. You don't share. It's the ACA shit that's coming up. It's the don't talk, don't trust, don't feel. And it's really surfacing as the don't talk, don't trust. And it's the justification of like, you can't trust them. So definitely don't talk to them. And it's a very painful place to be. It's the jumping off place, actually, for me, where it's the pain. It's the 5149. The pain of staying stuck exactly where I am is more painful. And then I'm willing to leap and take the risk and don't give a fuck because it's becoming so painful that it's like I'll grab on to anyone's hand. It's before it was like, I'm not so sure I trust this. It's like, I just give me a hand, I give me your finger, I will hold on to that pinky finger, and I like, just get me the fuck out of it. And it's like that kind of energy. But I still, it doesn't, for me, time is not the tool. Like, it's still when there's more of a blossoming, when more is being revealed, it's like, oh, here it is again. I get to practice asking for more help, letting go of my judgments and assessments, letting go of the past stuff that's still there. It's a lot less that's still coloring the present. And getting over myself, essentially,
So good. Yes, I know. And you and I have different approaches to this, whereas you're like, don't share it with them. I'm more like, share every single thing, share all my flaws, and then, depend on them to not reject me. And then I've put all my stuff in other people's hands, and inevitably, they're humans and they, will sometimes reject. And then same as you just said, like, time doesn't do this one, because this is my programming from childhood that I'm repeating patterns. So of course time isn't going to change it, because it's just a pattern that until I go back and address like the original wound and feel it and heal it, then of course time isn't going to make any difference. And so I'm having a very similar experience of just something I've always like told everybody. And then when they reject me, I'm mad at them. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm having an experience of, I told everything. I was vulnerable. For 2 years, intimacy, all of that. And the person is not calling and not telling me why and just leaving me hanging. But for the first time ever, I'm not doing the thing in my head. I'm not doing it. That is their problem. Like they need to come and address me and tell me what the issue is, because I have no clue. It's their responsibility, and I will not allow my head to think of different. I'm not doing it. No. I'm not doing it. That is your stuff. Let others voluntarily evolve. I love you so much that you can get out of a pattern of calling me 5 to 7 times a week. Just completely ghost me, not say why, and it is on you, boo. It is no longer a rejection of me.
This, oh God, it's like you and I are always aligned, and I love that we are not the same person, because we actually, you know what I mean? It's really enriching. So there's 2 things. One is what I'm hearing you say is the other person is no longer the higher power because you are connected.
Right.
You are not waiting for them, like mommy and daddy or whatever that thing is, right? For them to approve, to hear, to be seen, to any of those things. You're just like, oh, that's on their side, you know? And for me, that's like, that makes my heart sing, because it's like, there's growth, you know? And it's like, I identify with that growth where, no, they're no longer the higher power, because I'm in touch with my higher self. I'm in touch with my loving parent. I'm in touch with higher power. That it's like the Ebby and Bill, like his roots grasp new soil. He was like a totally different person. Right. He was inwardly reorganized, you know? Right. And that for me is this journey we're on. The other thing is what I would love to explore in this conversation is, you know, I go the grandiose, right? I cover the shame with grandiosity. And I'm better than, right? Above or below, it's what we always talk about, right? And so for me, it's rooted in the fear, right? So it's a fear I'm going to be rejected, and I'm not, or I'm bad, I'm not good enough. And the way that surfaces is I go at the extremes. It's either I'll reject you, I'll judge and reject you before you can judge and reject me. So then it's clear that that's just a self-fulfilling thing that before you could, I'm already rejecting you. So that's like, oh yeah, I'm unlovable. There we go. I'm getting rejected, or I'm rejected, right? The other piece is I'll twist myself into a pretzel trying to be the person that I think you want me to be, so that you won't reject me, right? Which is also, I'm very clear, is A, not honest, and B, is like, of course there's going to be imposter syndrome. Of course there's going to be all this other stuff, because I'm not being me. I'm being who I think you want. Right.
Right. And then if somebody rejects, it's like, wait, you rejected the wrong person. You rejected the illusion of what I presented. You didn't even get to see me. And it's like being mad at them for rejecting, right? But they didn't do it. And then this is kind of why I say people pleasers or people hurters, because instead of speaking up for the needs, they will get mad at the person that didn't meet them. And it's like, well, you never spoke up and said them. So it's convenient to just blame the other person for not being a mind reader, instead of looking within and going, oh, wait, I never even said, hey, here's my need. Yeah. But the other thing that I'm having with this is it's not necessarily that I make the person my higher power. It's that I give them power, not higher power status, but I give them power. And then whenever they reject me, it taps into all my rejections before, and it like validates, it stamps, you know, another approval on all those rejections. Like, yes, that was right. But if I'm having an experience of myself, of my spirit with every other person, it's impossible to reject me. It's impossible for me to be small. You get to have whatever experience you want to have with this. Like, I'm just an exemplification of love. Take it, don't take it, whatever you need. Like, I've always needed something from someone. I don't need anything. I got it. We are meeting all of Misty's needs. I am so in love with myself. I am so filled up and whole, and I don't need one single thing from another person. Today.
Today, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this could all change on a dime, people.
That's why I see help as our step 2, right? Came to believe, for me is like honest, open, willing. It's the part of me is like, it's the 2. It's what, like, for me, the 2 is when I end up in the room, right? And 2 in the 12 and 12, it talks about, will surely be restored to sanity. It ends on that step. Every meeting, every connection with another. I'm totally paraphrasing. It's like, will restore me to sanity, will restore me to reality. And I guess that the block right now, and this is why I wanted to bring it to us, is like, oh God, it's sometimes seems so insurmountable. Because what I'm very clear is that there's shame that's there, and like the shame really thrives in the shadows. And like for me, it's like the opening my mouth and truly sharing what's going on and what is my fear. And like, it's like the vulnerability, it's intimacy, it's like the stuff that like, if like, that's all where I am right now as far as my program is really sharing. Because I think even in program, there's this stage character, you know, like, oh, great work. Like, you know, same in the work world, like, oh, what a wonderful work ethic, you know, it's like, you know, and it's like, can become that character, you know.
Right. And we think it's a character that other people are putting on us, but it's a character we've created and that we decide to keep playing.
Yeah.
And when you said shame, I loved your analogy of the puzzle. And when you said shame, I pictured the puzzle piece not even being in the box in the tray of other puzzle pieces. Shame is when you're like, you're outside the box. You're on that table.
Oh God.
And when we'll get in the box and like hope to be picked for the whole piece, you know, like it's messy, you know, and we're on top of the other ones, but we're in it. And then when we get to the whole, we realize we're everyone. So whatever feelings I'm feeling of loneliness, and so everyone is feeling that. Everyone has that. I have to share it. I have to bring it to the surface. You know, that's one of the things that's so silly, but about TikTok is when I got on there, I kept going, oh, I thought I was the only person that felt that way. Oh, I thought I was the only person that experienced that. Oh, I thought that was unique to me. And it has blown up all of that shit. There's nothing that I realized. And of course we get that in the rooms, but that was just now. It was just to alcoholics. But this is like human beings. No, human beings experience all the things I'm experiencing. There's no uniqueness. And I do not need to put myself outside on that table instead of in the box with all the puzzle pieces.
I mean, if that isn't going to get me on the TikTok, I don't know what will.
Well, you will get kicked off for saying the TikTok, but yes, we want you there. We want you.
I love that you are on the TikTok, like literally, like
I'm
just
Gen
because
Z. I'm Gen Z.
you are at heart. Like, I mean, literally, legit, because there is a lot on there. And you know, what ends up happening for me is then I have a narrative of like, it's already been done, like blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of the comparing versus the joining. You know, like there's still that sense of comparing and I'm othering myself versus the identification, which I know at the core, it gives me that sense of belonging and connection that I'm really craving.
Yeah.
It goes so deep. There's a few things that are, you know, like that I've been thinking a lot about the blocks. One is me actually opening my mouth and actually legit saying what's going on, what I'm thinking, feeling, experiencing, which as always, I think to a certain extent, growing up has been the model has been, oh, we don't talk about that, or oh no, that's not, it's, I mean, part of it is an Al-Anon-ic codependence, ACA, where it's like, oh no, you can't share that about your parent. Like, no, like, what will people think of you? It's like the reverse of like the parent thinking my child is a reflection of me. It's the reverse. Like, my parent's a reflection of me as a child. Like, I can't share that I came from this family that's like really effed up, like what are people going to think of? It's like the societal instinct.
Right. Right.
It's so there, and it's ending up really being the block to more connection for me.
Well, I am in this analogy, right, where we're all one and we all experience like love, and then we came down here to see different aspects of ourselves. And what that means is that we're looking for contrast. We're like, it's innate that we want contrast. So it's like, it is a human thing to see the differences immediately. Like, that's not a bad thing. That's not childhood. That's not anything. That is like, that's believing all of this is real. And whenever there's a density, when I can't be aligned with the higher self and feeling this is all a whole, I'm in a density of this earth and like aloneness and me. And for me right now, it's about, I'm part of a whole. So who am I to play small? It's impossible. I can't do it, because for all of us, I have to shine for all of us, because we're all there. So we all gotta just shine and share it, because at the end of the day, no one's thinking about you.
Yeah.
They're all thinking about themselves and their little plans and their little designs. And if you shared every single thing to your core, all everybody would do is like, we love you. We feel this. We have that same feeling.
It goes back to what we said in that other episode. You're channeling Marianne today for some reason. Like, you're literally, I'm thinking of like, oh yeah, that like whatever that quote was, like, who are we to, like, it's our power, right? It's the light, like we're supposed to shine. But it's, oh God.
It really is. If I'm too identified with this self, with this me, with this ego, with my experiences, or am I going to remember who I really am?
Yeah.
I'm really love, and I'm really just dropped into different packages of like size and color and hair color and taste in music and taste in all of that. That's so the way I get back to that whole is just sharing.
Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor. Call your.
Send us an email with comments, questions, or concerns, bcysponsor@gmail.com.
Don't forget to rate 5 stars.